I think it's partly part of your own complex that you have to get over, because I don't feel you're inferior. I have nothing against black people.
Yes. Answer her. This is the, excuse me, this is the situation. Every young white adult says, I have not done this to black people. I have not done that to black people. But your forefathers are the ones who have set us in the situation we are in. Now, what I'm saying is this. When Nat Turner stood up, you all rejected him. You killed him. When Marcus Garvey stood up, you all rejected him, enslaved him. He died a broken heart. Now, what I'm saying is this. Your fathers have put us in the condition we are in, and today you are profiting from what your forefathers have done. Now, my grandchildren are going to be raised, and your children are going to say to them, they have not done to them, because you are the ones who are going to do to my grandchildren what they're going to continues. Now, what I'm saying is this. When we talk about America falling, what we are saying is this. If you all want to control America, then we must have a land base that we control. You all cannot continue printing the dollar bill and then expect us to abide by your rules when you do not want to give us jobs. Therefore, I'm saying that we have now got to come into negotiations, and Minister Farrakhan is the man to listen to.
It becomes apparent more and more as we listen to each other and try to talk to each other that we don't perceive reality the same. And as we're talking about either reconciling differences or separating, it becomes clear that if two people are looking at the same thing and perceiving it so differently, then the two people are operating under a different stimulus. And so when the young lady says, I am prejudiced, to be prejudiced means to judge before the fact. After 400 years of living and experiencing, we're not prejudiced. We are looking at the reality of what we have suffered and continue to suffer.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, Michael.
How's it going?
Good. Hello. We got a lot of people in the chat. We got a lot of lurkers. Hello, lurkers. Always glad to see you.
It seems like we've got maybe some guests from JB's audience that we don't normally get. So welcome if you've never heard of us. Thank you for being here.
Appreciate you coming. So we might as well just bring JB on. I hope you guys like my hat. I'm still trying to comb through my hair. It's still not working. My hair is all matted up here. So
we'll get there.
Now I'm pulling out my Black Life called me Inspector Gadget today.
Nice. I
might need another week. Yeah.
So how's it going, JB? Thanks for joining us.
It's good to see you guys once again. Good to be back on. Thank you so very much for having me, despite being under the weather and despite having fits of coughing, as well as, for some reason, as soon as I got on camera, my left eye started watering. So it's not tears. It's this damn sickness that's going on. And it's like, hey, I think you should start watering now while you're on camera. How about that?
Here you go.
Well, let's try not to keep you too long, then, if you're not feeling so good. Yeah.
I hope it's the name brand Kleenex kind. You know, just like the commercials. Those in need deserves Puffs Plus with lotion indeed.
Puffs with Vicks.
Nice.
So I'm gonna.
Puffs, by the way.
Pardon me?
Right. You said the stream isn't sponsored by Puffs, by the way.
Oh, good. Yes. Disclaimer, much needed. Yeah. No sponsorship here. So what are we starting with as far as I didn't really do any of the preparing for today. Normally I do a lot of research, but I thought it would be nice for me to let Abby take the driver's seat on this one, and I can sit back and learn a little bit about something I don't really know. So
yeah, well, this is first I want to give a trigger warning because this is some heavy stuff, you know, when you're thinking about your own humanity and consciousness and keeping yourself safe in your space. So I'm going to try to keep it as light as possible. But I mean, there's not much that's light about lynchings based on your the color of your skin or your class. So, hi, Roots and Bark. Oh, thank you for that. I don't know who put that up. Okay. So, first, I don't even know where to start. I'm just going to go with Epstein first because I think this is important. Because people are like looking at these files and the atrocities in the files like this is something that is new. They found in the files that they were hunting Black people. Well, excuse me, they called them N-words. They were hunting N-words, and people are like, what? Oh my gosh. And I'm thinking, well, what do you think the slave patrol was? That was the slave patrols, right? And the slave patrols, not the insignia, their emblem looks exactly like the police patrol emblems now. They're just a different color and they're nice and fancier. So this has been going on since we've been prisoners of war here. It's just kind of like the Democratic Party. It's just you don't see it as often, and it's suppressed because now it's considered shameful. Before it was a badge of honor. So I just wanted to point that out. And they're talking about in the Epstein files how they were eating Black people. They used to do that back in the day as well. They even did that before slavery in America. They would eat the mummies in Egypt. You know that? You did? Okay.
Yeah. In fact, a lot of...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So a lot of what has been brought out in the Epstein files is actually nothing new within the United States of America. In fact, there's a book that I've been meaning to get, but it's called The Delectable Negro. And that book actually chronicles about how our ancestors here in the United States were not just subject to chattel slavery, but also sexual assault. Both male and female were subject to sexual assault by male and female enslavers. But also on top of that, we were also eaten, literally. There was cannibalism, as well as our infants and babies were used as bait for alligators. That's where the term alligator babies comes from. And then on top of it as well, our skin was made into leather. Our hair was used as filling for cushions and pillows. Pieces of our bodies were used as souvenirs to put on the mantles whenever we were lynched, and also subject to things like castration. So all these different things that have happened that you hear within the Epstein files, including the hunting that was done against Black people. Because yes, a lot of people they look at, oh my God, all this sexual assault that happened. But did you guys miss the part where they talked about hunting Black people for sport? That is also what they did. And so I want people to realize that this is nothing new. This is a 400-year plus long genocide that has happened. And simultaneously, it happened beside a 500-year long genocide of Native Americans. And so when people talk about, oh my God, this is not who we are.
That's exactly who we are.
In a fantasy world, this is exactly who we are.
Well, not we.
Well, yeah, not me.
Not me,
But you
that's harder for me to say, right?
Yeah, we were just born here. That's it.
You missed one though. Well, two. The humiliation rituals where they would have slaves have sex with their own mother or father, would force them to do that as a humiliation. They would, a lot of people don't realize that some of those plantations weren't for picking cotton or tobacco or anything like that. They were for breeding. They were just breeding plantations. And then they would sell those babies out or eat them or do it whatever they will with them. And and
well, let me add to what you just said as well. Is that a lot of people will say, oh, but my family didn't own slaves. That doesn't mean they didn't rent them. Because you can actually rent slaves back then too. And that's the thing. Like, for instance, a lot of these big insurance companies have been around for hundreds of years. Well, what did they insure? They insured chattel slaves like they insure cars today. And so that's how we were insured, as property. And so
the White House was built by rented slaves.
Yeah.
And some people were given slaves. Like Harvard had a horrible past. Yeah, oh my gosh. It was so bad that they told them to stop looking. Stop looking. We've seen enough.
They said it's too many. It's too many.
It's too
like,
many.
Yeah, y'all did all that.
All of it.
But then it's like, well, if we ask for reparations, then basically Black people would own Harvard.
Can't get that though.
No.
I want to pivot a little bit to. Dang, I just lost it. Oh, okay. In the Epstein files, how they were talking about eugenics. This is a topic Michael would be very interested in talking about. So I just wanted to show this clip from this billionaire, Peter Nygaard. You know who that is? You could tell he was drinking blood and stuff because the way he looks now, I guess, I mean, he looks crazy now. Like something happened to his face. But he is on TV. I got to turn it down a little bit.
Isn't Nygaard in the fashion industry?
I can't remember what industry he's in, but probably because that's how they were. I mean, you could Google it for me.
Yeah, I forget. I heard his name, but just a little bit. Been a while. So.
Or in the entertainment industry, something like that. But he's talking about Black women's DNA and their stem cells and.
Peter and I are investing in it's called SCNT, which takes the egg of a young, perfect woman specimen, takes the egg and takes out the nucleus and puts our DNA in the nucleus. They just go ahead and take it out. A4? Huh? Jesus. Yeah, and this is part of this genetic greatness that we don't see in any other race on the planet. These curvy, sexy Black women from Africa. You girls have a kind of a monopoly on this genetic perfection, and we want some of that. So, girls, for $100, we will pay you for your egg.
$100? That man said $100. I would have got up and walked out.
I almost thought I heard someone say okay.
Right no, away. I think. No. Okay, let me back it up. Look at her face.
So how much do you want for it? Let's bid. I bid $500.
Look at her face.
Because they're flattering them. We want your view.
That's the one with the crazy face.
That's very valuable. Umbilical cord, placenta.
She is not.
Your period blood
Seemed
is
uncomfortable.
so rich with stem cells. When you regard it as waste, then it actually should be. It should be captured as recycled, and it should go to waste.
They look so uncomfortable.
I
But
bet you
yeah.
they do.
And like you could tell it was like nervous laughter, like, oh shit, what do I do?
Hold up, wait a minute.
You never seen this?
That man is talking about them having genetic inferiority while he's looking like, child.
Wow, he just lowballed them for $100 for their eggs. What? Like that? So he's telling you right there what he thinks of you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to answer your question, Lance is on it. Ironically, Nygaard is a Finnish Canadian, so he's a stain on the reputations of my own diaspora. And yes, he was a former fashion executive and convicted sex offender. I believe before all of this Epstein stuff. It says in 2020, the Federal Bureau of Investigation carried out a search warrant of Nygaard's office in New York City after he was accused of sex trafficking, sexual assault, and racketeering. As a result, Nygaard stepped down as chairman of Nygaard International soon afterwards. And then they went bankrupt. Oh, looks like Abby's just having a moment.
It's kind of funny because if he really wants to get scientific, our DNA is traced back to Black women and every person of the human race. And so it's kind of funny because when he talks about these genetic disadvantages, it's hilarious because what some may see as a disadvantage could be an advantage depending on the area and part of the planet that you're on, the climate, the different variables. It's kind of interesting that I was watching a video earlier and it talked about the advantages and genetic disadvantages in regards to just height, right? And about how people who have shorter stature are able to endure harsher conditions for longer, but that's more of an evolutionary thing versus what we deal with now. And so it's like, okay, you say that that's an evolutionary disadvantage. Please tell me about the Zionists that are currently living in occupied Palestine and how they have to deal with higher rates of skin cancer. When you're talking about evolutionary disadvantages, right? Yeah. But we're talking about that. And so it doesn't make any sense to me because it's like different people live in different parts of the world and there's certain adaptations that happen because of that part of the world that you're ancestors are from, and so you inherited that, which is prime for that particular type of adaptation that's needed. So when you go into an area of the world that is not the same climate that your ancestors are from, and then there's abundance of different foods that probably aren't from the same area where you come from, then yeah, of course, then there's variations that may happen within your body that is probably not built for. But to say that one person is disadvantaged more than the other genetically is baseless and is race science.
Pseudoscience.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I could see skin cancer with them because you're Eastern European. You're not supposed to be there. So I could see that you developing skin cancer. It was interesting. I was reading about how the most diverse type of people, of course, are in Africa, like the shortest people in the world, the pygmies, and then the tallest people in the world. And they're all from, different tribes around the country. some with blue eyes and blonde hair, and I forget the name of that tribe. I can't remember the name. But the most diverse amongst us are the tribes in Africa. And so when anthropologists were coming to research Africa, they were coming with a bias, like, oh, these people aren't smart. Well, if you're not looking for smart people, you're not going to find them because you don't want to find them. You're actively looking for people who maybe are like had their own traditions that they haven't deviated from in thousands and thousands of years. So, and they're secluded. So yeah, they might not be smart to you because they're secluded in this area, but you try to survive there with them and see how long you can last. But I digress.
Yeah, it is interesting because in South Africa, there's the San people, S-A-N, San people, and they have very Asiatic features, which actually predate the ancestry of Asians, especially East Asians, by thousands of years, meaning that they literally have the genetic marker that predates people from Vietnam, China, um, Korea, many different parts of East Asia, right? And so you go to them, and then you go to pretty much, I think it was brought out by Professor Neil deGrasse Tyson. We talked about the biggest genetic diversity that is on Earth is actually in Africa. And so
Yeah.
because of that, and because a lot of people don't realize this, Africa is massive. It may not look that big on maps, but in reality, Africa is, for good reason, the second largest continent on Earth for good reason. And so Africa is massive. And so it houses so many groups of people. I mean, I've seen a black man that looked like Elon Musk.
That's funny.
You know, now, but it's to go to show that a lot of people don't realize the diversity, the genetic diversity that we hold. And so just saying, oh, blanket black people are predisposed this way, excuse me, they don't differentiate between North African, Sub-Saharan African, East African, people close to the Horn of Africa, West African, where primarily like a lot of my ancestors come from, Central and South African. You know, they don't differentiate from people, or from one of the African islands like Madagascar. They don't give the variations based on the location. There are areas in Africa where it's actually higher elevation, where it snows. They have ski slopes in Africa.
They sure do.
So the genetic diversity is massive. Like, there's an activist that is here in Orlando that I actually saw a few days ago, and I'm thinking this brother was Latino. And he's like, no, I'm actually North African. I'm literally African American. And I'm like, excuse me? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
North Africa.
Like Morocco, they're very in Morocco, they're very yeah.
Yeah. Tunisia, Morocco. Yeah.
Tunisia,
And so-
Morocco, all those places, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And so
it seems like our
No.
phenotypical variation, like our facial features and like what makes us all distinct and unique looking, it's not so much as based in genetics as we think it is. It's a little bit of a strange mystery we're still kind of learning about.
Yeah. And there's a lot of us that have that varying genetic features that where it's just so broad, but you know, for somebody to reduce us down and say, well, you guys are inferior. I You know, that's just a way of dividing us and making one side look like we don't belong versus the other. I guarantee you, if you drop if you take out all the black people in Africa and replace it all with white people, come back to me in 10,000 years and see how white the people who were placed there are, because they're not going to be very white.
Mm-hmm. That'd be an interesting thing. But we'd never be able to find out how much, because the span of time it takes for something like that to happen. But it will be really cool if we could find out, whatever. Because I'm sure I get the same impression. Like, it's just a matter of time before whatever group of people are in that environment long enough, their features, everything about them is going to change to suit that environment. It just takes time, and it's natural. It's the thing that the evolution does to make balance, right?
Hi, Rondo. Peace, 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 fam.
What's up,
and
guys?
everybody in the chat. RO. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'm going to read your comment. RO Terrorbird. The Malagasy. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. People actually have closer genetic ties to Austronesians than Native Africans. So I'm going to take your word for it because I don't know either of those. And
Where the Malagasy,
I'm going to write it down so I can
Madagascar?
look it up.
I forget. I think they might be the Madagascar native population.
Malagasy? Malagasy people? I don't know.
Maybe.
Do you know?
I'm sure they can, if they're still there, they could maybe correct us. But that's an interesting, right. There's lots of interesting little factoids like that one from genetic research.
So I got to take a picture of that so I can look it up later. I wanted to shift though to lynchings because this is shockingly, I should even say shockingly. What I found was shocking though. When I was looking at the research of the he said Madagascar, yeah.
Yeah, I got
so
it right.
Look at you for the win. We should go to trivia one night, Michael, you and I. You'd wipe the floor with me, I suspect.
Well, I don't know.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
So what I found was there's no set database anymore to track lynchings. They used to have one for the nation, but it stopped in 1968. And I said, that's a weird year for you to just be like, yep, can't I do that no more? So is that because of civil rights? I'm like, well, so just because the Civil Rights Act was passed, is that everything is wiped out? No more racism. Like, that's so unrealistic, but they did that. They stopped recording the data after 1968. So I did find this. Let me see. Because in the United States, since 2020, the authorities, are not captured by a single, hold on, let me start over. Sorry. Official tallies of formal lynchings in the United States since 2020 are not captured by a single authoritative federal database. Instead, contemporary claims consist of a small number of high-profile alleged lynchings and hanging deaths that have prompted local investigations and community debate. Reporting and activist counts identify several suspected cases and contested rulings, most prominently incidents in Mississippi, North Carolina, and New York between 2022 and 2025, but official agencies often ruled many of these deaths suicides or left findings unresolved, producing no consolidated national count. And so there's been like several, I could put this in the chat too if you guys want to read the whole thing, because it's talking about, the number of lynchings from 1882 to 1968. It was about 5,000 of them, 5,000 that were reported, because some people just, disappeared. never to be found again. I found it to be an interesting read, but it's a lot. But my concern is that all of these lynchings that are happening now are just being cast off as suicides. And I'm talking from people who are in school, like have their calendar set up for the next day. You know, like their family is like, there's no, they were looking forward to graduation, their future, this and that. Like, there's no way this is a suicide. And the only, Black people do not, Black men specifically, do not commit suicide by hanging because of the historical implications. They just don't do that. That's not our jam. Right? I see your face, JB. That is not our jam. The only one I know who has done that, Khalif Browder, if you remember him. He was, okay, Khalif Browder, he was 16. They arrested him for stealing a backpack. He did not steal the backpack. They put him in Rikers Island. And they kept, you know how you're supposed to have a speedy trial or what have you? Well, there's this thing that they could do now where they could keep delaying your trial. Like they give you a speedy date, but then somehow something happens on that date where they got to give you another date, and they just keep dragging it out that way. And they kept trying to make him take a plea deal. And he said, I'm not going to say I did something that I did not do. And they had no evidence. They had nothing. And that's why they needed him to take that plea deal. They put him in solitary confinement for like 2 years. He was 16 in Rikers Island. Jay-Z did a documentary about him, by the way. It's called The Khalif Browder Story. But he, when he finally got out, because they didn't have anything on him, there was threat. He went to school. He was making straight A's, just trying to go about his life. Well, they brought up like a prior thing that he had done, something foolish that a child, like, I don't know why he would do this. Like, he took an ice cream truck or something. So they wanted to put him back in jail for that. He was so scared about going back to jail. He lived on the second floor. And he hung himself. That's the only one I know that, like, and he went through some torture. Like, they beat his ass in Rikers Island and then just put him in solitary confinement for 2 years. A 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Anyway.
His death's on their hands. Yeah.
Right. But if you want to, I think it's on Netflix. It's called, I'll put it in the chat for you guys to be able to spell it.
Okay.
I got a chance to meet his brother. I interviewed his brother. I used to produce a show in New York City when I lived there, and we had a State of the Union from the community's perspective, and he was one of the guests on the show. It was really nice. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. There are some lynchings that I want to discuss.
Sure. Yeah.
But before I do that, hi Roger Meadows. I think I missed some people out there. Yeah, Rondo, he had PTSD. My father witnessed his grandfather being lynched. He never really wanted to tell me, but I got it out of him. But here's this man talking about witnessing a lynching when he was a child. And I just thought it was interesting to bring up.
I am told about this lynch mob that had started to form during the afternoon. And after supper, he put me in the car with him. We drove back downtown, and it was very unusual for me, for my dad to be taking me at my age and turning lights on and unlocking doors and going up the stairs, which is unusual. You know, it's not like doing it in the daytime. And I remember those physical things and walking across this empty office to the window, a window that overlooked the courthouse square. And this was where the riot was happening. My father never talked about it. He never preached about it. We both just were observers. And I watched an out-of-control mob of several hundred men drag a young black boy out of the jail in the courthouse, overpowered the sheriff to get him out, strung him up on a lamppost, riddled him with bullets, dragged him around back of a car, something like that. The mayor, this is how long we did have automobiles, but the mayor, for some reason or other, was on horseback, evidently because he could get into the courthouse square away from the streets easier. He was on horseback trying to stop this. They damn near lynched the mayor. That's how out of control these bastards can get. That's, well, as Lincoln says in that scene, and he points to somebody. He's a God-fearing man, and what is he doing here? And I'm sure when he gets home, he's going to take down the good book. And it was a traumatic experience for me. I'll never forget it.
Must have had a profound effect on you. Why did your father do that?
Well, he never told me, but I would like to think that he realized that it would be a lesson. I had to grow up and move away from Omaha to appreciate that my father was a liberal Democrat in a hotbed of Republican reactionaries. It's Omaha and Nebraska still is.
He ran train.
Oh. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I actually wanted you to see that. I actually wanted you to see that other part, but
we'll get it back. But it's a good moment to comment on how it's a little bit sad, or a lot sad, that even as tragic as all this is, the strong, brave, the heroes are the ones still trapped in this duopoly of he was a Democrat in a Republican hotbed. Good for him by not being a Republican in the Republican hotbed, but we need to, in order to get past this, Democrat, liberal duopoly, it's not cutting it.
And then it also, I thought it was quite strange that you just take your son to see something that traumatic and never discuss it with him. And so now it's left up to his interpretation to still try to to convince himself that his father was a good person, when it might not even be the case. Like, do we really know that? Or is that the picture you're trying to paint for yourself? Who knows? Because why wouldn't he talk to you about it? Like, what kind of lesson is there to learn if you're not teaching?
Also, can we talk about the trauma that was left with him?
Right.
That resolved?
Right. I mean, we feel traumatized just hearing the story. I felt traumatized that your father would do that to you.
Yeah. A lot of times, and this is, I tell anybody and everybody to look up the lecture on post-traumatic slave syndrome by Dr. Joy DeGruy. And so one of the things that she actually brings out in her lecture is not only is there trauma that has been carried over from chattel slavery down the line for Black Americans, but also the witnessing and the callousness of seeing Black people experiencing trauma by white people who have ancestors here, and how that callousness has been transferred down the line to their ancestors as well. And so this is not all, but there's a lot of people who carry this over. And there you go, Dr. Joy DeGruy. I'll let you guys play this because she is brilliant. Absolutely.
I got you. You know I got you. I think we read and watch the same stuff. Okay. So here we go.
Train excursions and let children out of school early to attend lynchings. Before the torch was applied, the Negro was deprived of his ears, fingers, and genital parts of his body. He pleaded pitifully for his life while the mutilation was going on, but stood the ordeal of fire with surprising fortitude. Before the body was cool, it was cut to pieces, the bones were crushed into small bits, and even the tree upon which the wretch met his fate was torn up and disposed of as souvenirs. The Negro's heart was cut into several pieces, as was also his liver. Those unable to obtain the gas.
You wanted to say something? Oh, I thought somebody wanted to say something.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Oops. Okay.
Pieces, as was also his liver. Those unable to obtain the ghastly relics direct paid their more fortunate possessors extravagant sums for them. Small pieces of bone went for 25 cents, and a bit of the liver crisply cooked sold for 10 cents. As soon as the Negro was seen to be dead, there was a tremendous struggle among the crowd to secure the souvenirs. Knives were quickly produced, and soon the body was dismembered. Now I want you to look at who's in the picture. And you cannot heal what you don't understand.
You're going to learn today.
Yeah, we are learning today. Definitely. I've learned already quite a bit that I didn't know. So thank you guys.
Yeah, and I had to go backwards so I could go forward and just shed. I'm not going to go through all the stories, like the details of all the stories, because for sake of time, because I know JB has to leave.
Yeah, do you are you cool to stay another 15 minutes as far as not wanting to keep you while you're sick, or?
Yeah, I could do another 15 minutes.
Okay, so here, just 10 deaths from 2025. No, I'm sorry. Some of them go back to 2024. Trey Reed, he was a college student in Mississippi. Delta State University in Cleveland, Mississippi, was found near the pickleball courts just after 7 a.m. Now, this is interesting about that. I'm going to make this bigger. This is interesting. The pickleball courts, that just made me think of how, when you think of like gentrification and you think of how neighborhoods are changed over time to purposely promote gentrification, like how they would take out basketball courts and put in pickleball courts because Black people don't play pickleball. I don't even know what pickleball is, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm sure a quick Google search, I could find out, but I don't know what that is. So they removed all the basketball courts and put in pickleball courts. They would do things like that in order to usher in gentrification sooner. Like, you stay in the home because we don't want you in these public spaces. There's no need for you to be here because there's nothing for you to play. So I just noticed that and wanted to point that out. Here's another. I didn't put that other thing in the chat either. Okay, I will. Jaybefaunt McGee. Look at his little cute face. Also 21. He was a truck driver. He's from Chicago, and he was driving his truck through Henderson, North Carolina. He was trying to make a delivery to the Walmart distribution center. They found him hanging from a tree and ruled it a suicide.
On September 11th.
So he just decided, you know what? I don't want to finish working my load. Let me just, like, that doesn't make any sense. Trevante Jamal Sherbert, 29 years old. Hiawassee, Georgia. They labeled his death as suicide. I think his family was like, hell no, and keep pressuring. Denoris Richardson. Now look at all he has to live for.
And Denoris Richardson was actually disabled.
Alabama. He was disabled.
Yes, he was.
Okay, I did not know that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In Alabama, they label his death as suicide.
Yep, they found him hanging from a porch.
In an abandoned house, correct?
Yep, in the woods.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dominique Alexander, just all gone too soon. 27 years old. He was in a park in New York City, in the Bronx. That one baffles me. Robert Fuller. This is in California. 20 years old. They ruled it a suicide. Black people don't even know how to tie a noose. Doesn't make sense to me. Malcolm Harsh. 38 years old, hanging from a tree in Victorville, California.
And so it seems like it's all over the country too. It's not necessarily just in the South. You know?
It's like Mississippi, New York, and apparently California are the main ones, but then also Alabama. They don't have a picture of Earl here. They just have this news. I mean, who knows how to... I guess if you were a Boy Scout, but I don't think they teach you how to tie nooses in Boy Scouts.
Mm-mm.
At least I'm not. A lady, Yona Lubrin. You guys are getting the picture. She was found in Orlando, Florida, hanging from a tree. She's 31 years old. They consider that a suicide. And Amari Bryant. Then there's this one guy. He did not get caught. He was with his, you got to see this. He was with his friends. I think I just cut off the, yeah. I think I just cut it off. He was with his friends. You can't see it. He was with his friends in the woods in Indiana. And his friends were white. He was the only Black person. It was for 4th of July. Let's see if I can find it. I just cut it off. And they like grabbed him, snatched him up, and told his friends to leave. Told his white friends were like, "Look, we're sorry. They're like, this is private property," and they're holding him down, and they're like, "You just go, you leave." And he was definitely gonna get lynched because his friends did not stay. I really want you to see. I'm gonna play it. Ain't no way.
So you're saying that his friends managed to save his life in this rare instance, or that they abandoned him and he ended up being lynched?
Mm-hmm.
Because, right.
Oh no! They didn't abandon him. They wouldn't leave him. And
some people wouldn't really.
Here it is.
Like those were the brave, the good people. Other weaker constitution people, you might say. I'm not sure what would be with people with less morals. A lot of people would just save themselves whenever they're threatened a little bit. And yeah, so I'm glad that there's
what's interesting,
a little silver lining there.
What's interesting is he's a very known Black activist in the area. The mayor of Bloomington went on. The mayor was like, "I've known him for 5 years. He's a really good man, and I'm so glad nothing happened to him." Yada yada. But this is them holding him down. You could see him in the green shorts and the black underwear.
Let him go, please. Let him go. Please let him go. We're going to as soon as you let him go. I'm going to.
I wanted to show you I really wanted to show you a different one where they were like calling him a nappy-headed this and that and cussing and telling the dudes, you're his white friends. This is the guy.
Well, I would imagine
I
though
had,
there would be some legal follow up after they're on camera like that, but then I'm sure that it was a slap on
yeah,
the
this
wrist.
happened a little while ago.
Yeah.
I can't remember what happened to them, but the video I wanted to show, I accidentally deleted it before I could show it. Oh, it's probably in my history, huh? But for the sake of time, I wanted to also talk about Kendrick Johnson. Now, this is really sad. The high school student. Have you ever heard of this one?
I might need to be reminded.
Okay. So he was murdered at school. The people that they think murdered him, the dude, his father worked for the FBI. So ding ding ding.
Was this the same story about a young man that was wrapped up in
a mat? In
yeah,
a mat?
in a mat.
And
Yeah,
remember what happened? Like they said it was they said it was nothing. The family paid for a private, like a second autopsy, and the man who conducted the autopsy said there was blunt force trauma to the back of the head, and he said he'd never seen anything like that because all of his organs were missing and he was stuffed with newspaper. You didn't hear about that part?
I might have. I think I'm recalling that part. I didn't get to cover that one. Out of the list that you showed, I think I covered
because
four.
It's been a while.
Yeah. And yes, Jacqueline, I did cover the Norris Richardson story. I think I covered it actually twice because I covered that and then I covered an update as well.
Well, too bad that we're getting
shadow banned. I have to look that one.
Because that kind of content is really important for people to be seeing.
I know that story.
Sorry, go ahead, Abby. I was just saying, too bad that JB's channel's getting censored when he's sharing such important information that would stop people from being as racist as they are. I think the truth does help people change who they are. So.
Thank you. I like it. Thank you. Yes, they said it was asphyxia at first, but then actually they had 3 autopsies. I'm looking at the article, but I kind of wanted you to see this part from. Here he is, right here. Let me play this for you. Oh, this is kind of gory. They're showing like pictures. No, I gotta pass that up. All right, I'll do it from here. Thank you. I appreciate everybody's patience in this matter, y'all, because this is very important. And I'm gonna keep going because I do have some other stuff. So even when JB has to leave, I'm gonna keep going for a second because I think it's important to see how they talk about us and like as if we're a threat, but then all these things are happening to us. And in one of those, I think in Mississippi, there was a homeless white man who got hung the exact same way as that young black man, and they ruled that a suicide as well. Something sounds suspicious. So that's why I said like there's some class stuff going on too. But here we go.
Let's keep on going, and I'll bow out in about 30 minutes. Let's keep going. Let's go.
Okay, I was just about to say, I was calling up your channel to do the promo if you were getting ready to leave, but yeah, I appreciate if you want to stay for another half hour. Thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. I mean, this is some good information. I just wish I need a better computer. Here we go.
clothes did make it to the funeral home. A couple of days later, I got an email saying, no, we never received the clothes. A spokeswoman for the state tells CNN after its autopsy, the
I don't know if we can refresh it.
organs were placed in Johnson's body. The body was closed. Then the body was released to the funeral home. State
I don't know what's happening.
investigators say it's their normal practice. It's a Black Friday ad, JCPenney ad.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's Facebook sabotaging their own video.
Okay, this
The
is
they don't want.
right. So this is I'm trying to pause it. That was the court. That was the examiner. I think that's his mother, but that was the examiner explaining that he never seen anything like that before, and he when he opened the body up, it was nothing but newspapers inside.
Yeah, I think with Facebook doing their own video streaming stuff, they don't like sharing other people, like YouTube's content, because it's like a competitor. Maybe that would be giving them the benefit of the doubt almost, because this is also the censoring of anything that's a threat to the state or anything that's damaging of their reputation. And this is also, it's just the white supremacists censoring, right? It's not just about capitalism, obviously. So
Yeah, I was thinking about trying to find it on YouTube to avoid that. But here is another one. Now this they weren't lynched. These two twin brothers just graduated from college, was on their way home and went, I guess, hiking in the mountains, and they tried to say it was a murder-suicide. Turns out it was a retired firefighter who killed them both. Or maybe not retired, maybe he was a volunteer firefighter. I don't know if you want to hear it, but just play some of it.
Of Georgia, a man has been arrested in connection to the death of Black twin brothers. This story has a lot of twists and turns. It's going to make your blood boil. Put up the picture full mass. In Georgia, Quadir and Nazir Lewis, 19 years of age, were found dead just hours after they were expected to fly to Boston to visit friends on Saturday, March 8th. Their plane tickets were reportedly still in their respective wallets, found at the scene of the crime. Hikers discovered their bodies at the top of Bell Mountain. This is near North Georgia. It is the Georgia-North Carolina border.
Sorry, I'm on mute. The huge significance of this is that they just keep saying, "Oh, it's a suicide. Let it go. Oh, that was a murder suicide." And if you don't push and push and push and push and have the strength to push and have the community around you to help you push, then you will never get the justice that you deserve.
it's the re-traumatization. It's the nightmare after the nightmare that doesn't end unless maybe you can be, like you're saying, strong enough to see it all the way through, and then you're still left with, like a Pyrrhic victory. Like you maybe got a ruling, but in the meantime, how many other kids have been murdered in a similar way? It's meant to leave everyone with this hopeless, defeated kind of,
It is definitely demoralizing, especially when they keep reducing the deaths of Black people, particularly Black men, as self-harm. And one of my biggest issues is that the police always say, well, we didn't see any foul play. This reminds me of that one story I covered. It was like a year and a half, 2 years ago, where a little black boy about 8 years of age was found dead, and come to find out that he was playing with the 10 and 11-year-old white boys, and they actually drowned him to death.
I remember that.
Yeah. So then instead of actually taking them in and also taking the parent in, who was supposed to be, watching over them, the police actually tried to cover up what they did, because essentially they have their entire life ahead of them. And my thing is you can't tell me that when police shot and killed Tamir Rice at the tender age of 12, within 3 seconds of getting to the location of where Tamir Rice was, and he was only playing with a toy gun by himself in a park. And so you don't get to do that. You don't get to pick and choose. Oh, well, their lives would be ruined, but yet you guys decide to do that same thing to Tamir Rice. Also, can we talk about the lynchings the lynchings of young black men? Like, for instance, I covered the murder of Sensei Reed, right? There's so many different ones, right, that people have yet to talk about. The latest one that actually came out was the one about Kala Basinga. And Kala Basinga was found hanging from a tree in the woods, and he was a Georgia State University student. And this was found a couple weeks ago. Kala Basinga was found dead.
Oh, wow.
Hanging
I
from a
didn't see that one.
Yeah. And so Kala Basinga, actually a few days before he was found hanging from a tree, he got into a verbal altercation with a police officer in Atlanta. And so he was literally 21 years old. And it's funny, they're typically never under the age of 40. They're always young black men. Always young, right? Especially college age. And so to say something like, oh, well, we don't see any foul play, and we don't think that anybody was involved, given our history, especially when lynchings ramped up during Reconstruction and into Jim Crow. You mean to tell us that, oh, we just chose this way to harm ourselves by default because that was just the easiest way for us? Like, no, black people, by and large, we don't do that. There's only one exception, to which you Miss Abby, you alluded to, for that gentleman, but we don't do that.
Yeah, that's what I love. We don't do that. That's not our jam.
No.
Like, historically, so my next segment would be police lynchings. So you jumped me there. But I did want to show this for two reasons. I want people to hear what she says, and I want you to see the people in the comments and how they are responding to what she's saying. So let me do this.
I'm probably gonna ruffle some feathers, but I don't give a fuck. I don't allow my black son to hang out with all white boys. I just don't. There has to be at least one Negro there, because my son works with a lot of white boys, and he was like, can I go hang out with them? He'll be 18 in May, but he was like, can I go hang out with them at such and such? I said, who all gonna be there? And I was like, and what are they? And then I was like, ain't no black. No, you're not going. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care if somebody thinks that's racist. My son won't be hanging out with all white boys. No, my son is not. Even my son is damn near dark skinned. My older son. So no, you're not going to be hanging out with all white boys. I just don't trust this shit. I mean, I don't care. Like, I don't care. My protection for my son doesn't override your fucking feelings. or people's feelings about how I feel about it. Like, especially that story about that lady who went to that sleepover and she passed away or whatever, and it's still like a mystery. No, we're not doing that because I need you to at least take one of your black friends with you. I'm just saying.
I don't know if you know what she's talking about. That black lady who went on a vacation with her friends, and ended up unalive, and nobody know nothing.
Well, you cut out a little bit there, Abby.
And trying to find. Oh, okay, my bad.
No, it's okay.
I think yeah, it just happens. But I kind of wanted. Oh, she said, being cautious is certainly not being racist. No, it was. I think it's further down because I think people started bombarding them because they were just like, she's being racist. She's an idiot. I feel sorry for her son. Just all kind of stuff, and I'm like, she's trying to protect her baby. I understand it. If I have a thought on that.
I would like to interject something just a little bit as well. Sometimes it's not because there's a fear that, especially for boys, like the young white boys that you're around are going to do something bad to you. Sometimes, without having the education and nuance about racial dynamics, is that some risks and things that they attempt to do that they know that they can get away with, they will do around or in participation with Black people. And it will be way more harmful for us than it would be for them without them thinking about it. It reminds me of a story about, I forgot who was telling me, or I think somebody was recounting the story, and they said how they were with a friend, and the friend was white, and they said that they were going to the store. Well, come to find out, their friend, who was white, decided to steal things while they were in the store. And they finally got home and he found out that he stole things from the store. And he got mad. He said, if you had got caught, I would have gotten harmed even more than you because I'm Black. Mm-hmm. And so that person probably didn't mean to try to harm their friend that's Black, but you're placing Black people in a more dangerous, precarious position. So this even involves like driving, right? If you're driving, especially if you have a Black person in your car and you're speeding or something like that, you could be making it even worse for them. Because let's say you get stopped by a police officer and they see a Black person in the car with you. Guess what? You may get more leniency if you were alone, but now you have a Black person in the car, that leniency is gone. In fact, they may even be more unreasonably harsh than they would otherwise. And so this is why sometimes the ignorance, sometimes it's not intentional. Sometimes it's ignorance that also accompanies that, which is why a lot of Black people need to be cautious. That's why the phrase, who all is going to be there, it is universal among us Black people in America.
I was going to ask you about that. When she said, who all going to be there?
Who all going to be there? Because that lets us know whether we are going to go or whether we're going to go and be there for a short period of time or we're going to be there for a long time. That's our gauge for how we are going to engage with this event or not engage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Just being real. And it's getting worse with all of the ways that, like, the Justice Department, they're removing. The U.S. Justice Department removed a study finding far-right extremists commit far more violence. They removed that. They were removing all kind of Black history. I wanted to show you. Or do you remember? I'm gonna play this first, and then we could talk about this song that came out. and I just thought it was so interesting. Because I'm going back to Charlie Kirk territory now. Just stay with me. Listen to this.
Hanging from trees all day, uncensored, and not be allowed to see one bullet enter into Charlie Kirk. We're allowed to see your innocents die in the most brutal ways imaginable. All their limbs were broken. They had survived the most brutal attacks that we'd seen in 2025. This is just yesterday. But we can't see one of our most vile people, one of the most combative people in the entire world die a painless death. White people can't know that there's consequences for their actions. What if they just stop calling you the N-word? What if they stop calling me an N-word lover? That would be terrible for white supremacy. That'd be terrible for rich people. That'd be terrible for the suburbs. And that'd be terrible for the religions that are right now killing all these Black people and have been for hundreds of years. What isn't bad for white supremacy is another Black boy hanging in Mississippi for hours and then them calling it a suicide, or like Kizma Leo Mara surviving a brutal attack, having her bones broken, and then getting strung up, and the RSF blames her. This day, Mississippi is saying Black boys with broken hands are committing suicide, tying their own nooses, and Mississippi has to believe them because they're in too deep. Did you know that at the dawn of the Civil War, over half of Mississippi's population was slaves? You know what? I'm going to do a song on Mississippi. Mississippi was obviously the most restrictive state in the South, but in general, everywhere, you can't see Black people win. You can only see them lose. We've been doing this for hundreds of years. And then when it comes to Charlie Kirk, one of the worst white people in America, you can't see him lose. You'll never see him lose. You can only see him win. Yesterday, we saw 2 lynchings. You couldn't see a bullet enter a body, though, unless it was in Palestine. You don't see.
You said unless it was in Palestine.
Evil people die in hell. It's strange fruit. You're just going to see the angels. And the white devil's never going to let you forget what a Black body looks like hanging on a tree.
Now,
and it's going to.
Now, he says strange fruit. I'm not going to play this song. I'm not going to play the song. But I just want to remind people. I lost the song. Where'd the song go? Do you remember? Yeah. Do you remember the? I'll just describe it because everybody knows it. In response to Charlie Kirk being unalive, this rapper, I use that term loosely for them. Oh, here it is. I can show it here. This pro-Trump rapper and country singer released a pro-lynching song, "Hang 'Em Up High at Sundown." Remember that?
I don't think
I'm not going to play it.
Mm-mm.
You can go look it up yourself, but I'm not playing it. But
sounds like maybe Mr. MC Nemesis kind of character who was on our show a couple days ago.
Yeah, but you see this? Because Black people didn't want to mourn Charlie Kirk the way they wanted us to mourn him. They're like, oh, well, we'll lynch all of y'all. Let's make a song about it. You want to hear it? Here you go. What? Wait, what?
The crazy part about it is the person who is accused of being his murderer was white. I honestly, in my personal opinion, from hearing a lot of the facts on the ground, I'm not convinced that Tyler Robinson is actually the shooter. Part of me thinks it's more institutional than that, if you know what I mean.
Nobody does. Nobody believes that shit.
Look, do we look like Boo Boo the Fool? No. And so when I think about like people saying, oh, well, we're going to be using these very pro-lynching lyrics, I'm like, oh, so no matter what happens, if you have somebody that's racist and white and they pass or they're murdered, for their beliefs, or so that we know of, you're going to place the blame on Black people, even though we had nothing to do with it.
Do it. And they say the most vile things about us. It's amazing how, like, we're the most violent people. How? Like, stop projecting. But I do want to ask before you go, you ever heard of the Devil's Punch Bowl? Are you familiar with
Devil's Punch Bowl?
Yes.
That phrase sounds familiar.
Okay, I'm just gonna play a video and then I'm gonna show an article to explain a little more about it. Or maybe I should do it backwards. No, I'll show the video first.
Yeah. By the way, for anybody who, I was just gonna say, anybody who wants to hear the song "Strange Fruit," that's a song by Nina Simone. And so when you hear that song, start thinking of Black people being lynched, and all the lyrics will make sense.
And Jill Scott does a very good rendition of it. I mean, a lot of people do.
Okay.
A lot of people do. But anyway, let me play this real quick, and then we could read a little bit about it.
She said, "Where are all the bodies? To this day, bones wash up on the shore of the Mississippi River, and they are from the Devil's Punch Bowl. Also, to this day, the trees surrounding the Devil's Punch Bowl produce so many peaches. Nobody plants these. Nobody even takes care of these trees. It makes you wonder. That song, Strange Fruit, what was it about? It was about the fertilizer. The fertilizer is Black bodies. To this day, my granddaddy's from Mississippi. He will not eat peaches anywhere or around Natchez, Mississippi. So the bones, the bodies, they're still washing up on the shore. You go there, you might fuck around and see. And I'm not just saying things. There are numerous accounts of people reporting bones washing up right outside of Natchez. The locals literally, even they may even find this video and comment, they don't eat the peaches, the wild peaches that you just walking down the street and you see, you don't eat those. Why? Now, obviously, Strange Fruit was also about the hanging bodies. Those were the fruit. That is the fruit, right? But it's also about the fertilizer, because a lot of these trees that Black people were just left to decompose on top of or underneath, they started to bear a lot of fruit. The blacker the berry. Oh, my great country, America. Did you know this?
I did not know that.
So then let's read about it then. I'm gonna make it bigger. Did you know that, JB?
Makes sense, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That reminds me of how the feeding patterns and migration patterns of sharks actually changed during the transatlantic slave trade.
Sure did.
All of the bodies that were being thrown off, either dead or the enslaved that have jumped off the ships and were consumed by sharks. And so it literally changed the migration patterns of sharks within the Atlantic.
That's a wonderful point.
That's how many chattel slaves have died before even setting foot on this land.
So,
and it was all for what? All to increase the profits of a small few because they own plantations and they needed a way to differentiate the property of these capitalists from everybody else. And so the best way to do that is, oh, well, their skin color is different from ours. That's how you can classify who is property and who isn't.
Yes. So the Devil's Punch Bowl, just to give you guys some background on it, okay? The date in 1865, that's this date up here, December 11, 1865. It's known It's remembered for the Devil's Punch Bowl episode, a post-American Civil War episode in Black history that occurred, or not, as they claim, in Natchez, Adams County, Mississippi. As Black slaves made their way to freedom, the town of Natchez quickly went from a population of 10,000 to nearly 100,000 people. To deal with the population influx of recently freed slaves, a concentration camp was established by Union soldiers to eradicate the slaves essentially. Don Estes, I don't know if it's Est, former director of the Natchez City Cemetery, said, so they decided to build an encampment for them at Devil's Punch Bowl, which they walled off and wouldn't let me out. The camp was called the Devil's Punch Bowl because of how the area was shaped. The camp was situated at the bottom of a bottomless hollow pit with trees lining the bluffs above. The women and children were locked behind the concrete walls of the camp and left to die from starvation. Many also died from smallpox. Over 20,000 free slaves were killed in 1 year in this American concentration camp. Black men were recaptured by the Union troops and forced back into hard labor. Researchers Paula Westbrook adds the Union Army did not allow them to remove the bodies from the camp. They just gave them shovels and said bury them where they drop. Today the bluffs are known for the wild peach groves, but the locals will not eat any fruit because some know what has fertilized the trees. Estes said that during his studies, he learned that women and children were all but left to die in the 3 punch bowls. I could leave this in the chat as well. I know this is a lot, but it's necessary to understand so we know that what we're seeing in the Epstein files is not something that should be shocking or surprising to anyone. It is just what was above ground became underground, and now it has resurfaced, and we got to deal with it.
Yep.
Now it's 1:24, so before you go, I did want to pull up a song for a mental health break to decompress from all this information that we've been receiving that I feel like it was traumatic for me. So I assume might be traumatic for others in the chat and on the panel.
Well, if it's not traumatic, that's maybe like a bad sign. You might want to go talk to the psychologist. That's not even
that's a good point.
That's like seriously, that's a warning sign, but yeah.
That's a very good. Yeah, if it doesn't make your chest like I don't know, just tighten up just a little, then you really might want to talk. So I'm gonna play this song before. Before we say our goodbyes to you, JB. Thank you so much for saying that.
Sorry, you cut out a bit, but yeah.
Hey, oh, yeah. To anybody fighting silent battles, to anybody carrying weight nobody sees, this one's for you.
I'm sorry, I just realized I need to put on the closed caption.
Oh, okay.
Hey, oh, yeah. To anybody fighting silent battles, to anybody carrying weight nobody sees, this one's for you. We're rising together. Yeah. Yeah. I know the nights get heavy when your mind won't let you sleep. When the pain is different and you barely find relief. Depression got you quiet, anxiety got you weak. But baby, you stronger than the thought you're fighting every week. PTSD, flashbacks, bipolar days rated. Stress on your chest and the pressure feel weighted. But you're here right now, that's power, don't fake it. Every scar that you got shows the fight that you made it. Hold your head up high, even when the tears fall slow. You are not your struggle, you more than your load. You ain't alone, even when it feels cold. You a warrior in the dark with a heart full. We rise up strong, even when the world goes wrong. We break through pain, hold on and carry on. Your mental health is worth the fight, you belong. You ain't alone, together we rise up strong. Even when the world goes wrong, we break through pain, hold on and carry on. Your mental health is worth the fight, you belong. And you ain't alone, together we rise up. Music speak the truth when your voice can't find a sound. They heal every wound that been trying to pull you down. Inside your darkest moments, there's a light to be found. You still here, baby, that's strength, that's profound. Take a break if you need it, ain't weakness to scare. Your mental health matter, yeah, more than they aware. You got dreams, you got purpose, you got so much to share. You deserve peace too, you deserve love everywhere. You're not alone here when you feel broken. You're not your thoughts even when they are spoken. This journey ain't easy, but your heart is chosen. Keep going, keep growing, your strength stays unspoken. We rise up strong every time we fall apart. We carry the pain, but we heal with our hearts. Depression, anxiety, they don't define who you are. You're a fighter, a survivor, a walking star, so breathe. You're worthy of peace and love all alone. Lift your head, 'cause together we rise up strong. Oh, 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 oh. We rise up strong.
It's a good song.
So, yeah, I wanted to show who it was. If you guys want to check this person out, I find him quite interesting.
Sorry.
His name is Ansel King, Ansel King.
Does it say it there on the all right, sorry. Just gotta...
It already went to the next song. That's fine.
Yeah, no
I just wanted everybody, like take it down, and if we get a strike, I'll just cut it out.
Yeah, no worries. So it's been an hour and a half here now, and JB had already told us that he was gonna stay just a half hour longer, and we appreciate that extra time that you gave us. So if you'd like to pitch your show a little bit, I'm sure everyone else, a lot of the people in our chat tonight are probably already subscribed to you, but in case there's any of you out there who have not heard of JB, please subscribe.
Yeah, thanks. If you guys would like to,
worth it.
You guys can always follow me on my channel at Jaybefaunt. Also, I also have a new podcast as well called Kind Connections Podcast, where that is more universal in topics. It's not just politics. It's also related to history, science, art, culture, and much more different things that I do that as well. And I also, on my Substack, I also write articles as well. If you guys would like to subscribe to my Substack too. And so, yeah. And by the way, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and make sure to like as well as get them, further ahead. Because, I mean, look, one of the things I think is important is that we support independent media and get as many perspectives as possible. There's many of us who are trying to put our voices out there so that even if somebody may listen to, may not be so privy to listening to me, or they may not be the most excited to listen to me, maybe Michael or Abby may say something that is more relevant to them in their heart, so that they may be able to understand and come to class consciousness a little bit more. And so, everybody has a place in the revolution. And so, please go ahead and make sure to subscribe as well, because ultimately we need as many perspectives as possible. And you guys are doing amazing work. And I just want to thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you, JB.
You're,
We'd love to see you again, sometime in the future.
Mhm.
In the meantime, in between time,
sorry, you're cutting out a bit at the end.
I said in the meantime, in between time, we'll be checking out your channel, of course.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. You're a mentor and an inspiration. So I hope that we can have a long life of collaboration together.
Definitely.
And
Thank
make
you
sure
so much.
you make sure you get a lot of sleep, because that's when your body heals.
Yeah, feel better.
Yep.
Yeah.
I definitely will plan on doing that.
All right, thank
It's dinner time now, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's big back time.
Have a good night.
Not big back time.
It's big back time. Anytime is big back time.
Oh, well, the chat's saying thank you and take care. You have a good night.
Yeah, peace. Okay, well, I'm ready for a cigarette anyways, so I'll just be right back in.
I got one. I just I didn't want to be on camera with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we covered mostly everything I wanted to cover in that hour and a half. I do have more stuff, but we could say that for another. It's not going anywhere. We already know about police lynchings. They happen every day. So I feel like you could take listen to both of us clicking.
We could maybe end on a high note here. I feel like, I mean, we're going to have to cover this topic again, because clearly things are not going in the right direction. They are only getting worse. And I think you're right. We did cover the topic quite well. And yes, there's more to get into, but as far as trying to have a respect for how to do this with some kind of balanced approach for mental health, I think maybe too much long of a video for this kind of thing isn't even the most effective way to get this kind of information out. It might be a little just too much. People might not even watch all the way to the end, and if they do, that's great. So maybe if since we have so many people watching, let us know in the comments if you'd like to see more of this kind of content, or if you think if we should keep going, kind of thing. Be happy to hear from all of you.
Well, I think what we should do is let people know who are here from JB's channel, like what we're about, what we cover, what days we're on. So I can start if you like. So on Tuesdays we're here. We don't really have a set time. It's kind of like when we're jamming, and it's an open discussion. We send out a link so anybody could come on. The topic of discussions are open. We switch them. Like when we, feel like we talked a topic to death, somebody else can start a new one, and we kind of hang out that way. We do that for a long time. Thursday is our actual show, which is called Noteworthy. It is at 5 p.m. Central. And we discuss domestic and foreign policy issues. We try not to talk about things that everybody else is talking about in independent media. We try to give something else. Sometimes you just kind of got to talk about it because it is a hotbed of information. But a lot of times we try to do something else to make sure all of our bodies are, not bodies, but minds are being fed throughout the week when we're listening to independent media spaces. So I hope I did that justice, but please, Michael, add on to that?
I'll do my best. Yeah, I think, like I was saying again about, let us know in the comments if you think that there's any ways that we could improve our content, but we do our best to bring something interesting, something relevant, something that maybe someone else has not been covering. And that is not always possible, not always easy. So I just find that these algorithms are really working on our minds, even as we're trying to resist and overcome them, and provide content that's not, us just kind of hopping on the bandwagon. It is tricky with this digital world that we've been forced to live in, whether we like it or not. And so we hope to help all of you become educated, and we hope that you can join us in our quest for socialism. This is...
Did you say socialism?
Yes, socialism.
Michael.
This is where one of the dirty secrets of our podcast is we're a bunch of commie, not redneck, but yeah, bunch of reds.
Michael's a communist. Don't let her play with you.
No, yeah. This is where, with this kind of content, I feel more radicalized than ever that the only way to deal with this is the hardline communist approach, and anything softer is going to doom us to repeat this egregious cycle. So, but if you're not quite socialist minded, that's okay. We're still happy to have you join us for discussions, or to help expand our worldviews. Just because we're socialists doesn't mean we can't be wrong about something. We're still human beings, and we're hoping to grow in a way that we can do unto others as they need. What's that saying? Now I'm butchering it.
Do unto others as they would do unto you.
Yes, from each according to their abilities. So we strive to do that for you, and to each according to their needs. And so maybe sometimes you feel like you don't need to hear some of this stuff. We do our part, where I think sometimes we do need to hear some of this. So
yes, on Tuesdays, good faith discussions are always welcome. So come back and see us. We're here. We're here. What's it saying? We're here. We're queer. We're not gonna take it. Michael's not queer though.
I've never heard that. We're here and we're not going anywhere. We're
okay.
We're not feeling suicidal. We're not feeling depressed. Well, sometimes we can feel pretty depressed, but doesn't mean that we're giving up the fight. Only getting started. So
only getting started. So I'm gonna leave on this note. Just it's only like 2 minutes long or so, and then we'll be out, and we'll see you hopefully on Tuesday. I hope we have some new family members from JB's show.
Yeah. Maybe real quick.
We'd love to see you.
Have so many viewers. We hadn't been plugging our Discord, but here we go. Just in case anyone's interested, we also have a Discord, and we share some of our sources from the things that we cover in there.
But
and
we're also
you can share anything with us if you want to have us cover it. So please join us.
Yep. We are talking about trying to find a different application though, because of the things that's been happening with Discord.
Yes, that's always the eternal.
You want to mention that or whatever.
Yep. Same thing with YouTube. If we could ever find a way to have a way to get off this YouTube, all of us. I mean, we're all kind of here because we have to be, but that would be a chain worth breaking one day.
So, yes,
yeah,
Jacqueline, we mentioned the open forum, yes. And we can't wait to see you there. Jacqueline, I can't wait to see you actually pop up. Say something.
Well, we'll have to try and get there earlier and not start so late. Like this show starts at 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central. And we've been doing that on Tuesdays sometimes, but we'll probably increase our chances of getting to see or hear Jacqueline if we can be there a little earlier. So one day, hopefully.
One day, hopefully. Okay, so peace, y'all. Stay safe, stay happy. Take care of yourselves, your family, and each other.
Yep. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Sorry.
To be condescending, but we are really noticing now, especially in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, how profoundly uneducated most people are when it comes to white supremacy and Nazism. You see only the surface level, and that allows you to go, oh, it's not that extreme. It's a trap door. You stand here and go, oh, well, he just doesn't like immigrants. All of a sudden, you two are promoting the Great Replacement Theory. And you think, oh, the Great Replacement Theory is just that there are too many immigrants replacing Americans. That's not what it is. That is the top of the trap door to make you think it's okay, to make you think it's normal, to make you think it's rational. Great Replacement Theory is based in white supremacist, fake pseudoscience, the idea that there is a supreme white race and that all other races, including Jews, who they think are their own race, we are here to dilute the perfect Aryan blood. And Jews, who have their fingers in all the pots because we control the world, are making this happen. And they're specifically sending these people of color to America to replace the white race. And not just in the sense of peoplehood, but also in politics. They're saying that we're sending the Democrats to undermine the correct white political belief. And a lot of you are saying, oh, well, it's not that deep. Yeah, you wouldn't know how deep it is because you can't swim. You're hanging out in the shallow end because you simply can't paddle out far enough to see how deep it is.